Tune into Super Media World Channel 318 for entertainment available in the highest quality SD resolution. This week's featured program is Hollywood Nick Manker's Business Rescue Nightmares. In this series, I visit a business that I personally believe is in peril. I use my expertise in business management to assess the problems of said business, then remarket them using my likeness. If the business begins to make money, then I receive a small portion of their earnings from then on out. If they continue to perform poorly, however, well, let's just say they're not open much longer. I've closed 7 terribly ran businesses so far, making my hometown and the world a better place to live. Hollywood Nick Manker's Business Rescue Nightmares, Tuesdays at 2 on Super Media World 318. Hey, right now is actually not a great time for a review. As we speak, there is a terrible storm going on outside. Like, I'm talking a super mega storm. Coincidentally, Hollywood Nick just watched the movie Twister and came up with an idea of how we could profit off this crazy weather. This garbage can here is full of Manker classic films. He wants me to throw it into the eye of the tornado with the idea that the Twister is going to pick up the tapes and disperse them across town, putting them into the hands of anyone that's in its path. I can't say it's the worst idea he's ever had, but it's definitely in the top 20. Anyway, I see you're interested in watching Twister. Here's what you need to know about the movie. This film stars Jamie Gertz as Melissa, Philip Seymour Hoffman as Dustin, Carrie Elwes as Jonas, Lois Smith as Meg, Helen Hunt as Joe, and Bill Paxton as Bill. There's also small roles by Alan Ruck, Sean Whalen, Zach Grenier, Jake Busey, and many more. Bill has given up the dangerous life of storm chasing and is ready to settle down with his new fiancée. But his plans are about to change as Bill is reunited with his old crew and his ex-wife, who are about to launch his groundbreaking weather data gathering invention, Dorothy, into the heart of a tornado. It's getting close. Okay, let me think of what this movie didn't do well. This movie just sort of happens. Like, a lot of movies have plenty of exposition, slowly unraveling the characters and the story, but this movie sets it all up in, like, the first 10 minutes. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it was a little unexpected. The characters are portrayed as being sort of laid back and cool, but they're for sure just science nerds. There's a scene where the crew discusses the different levels of twisters from an F1 to an F5. And F1 through F4 they just casually joke about, but when Bill's fiancée Melissa asks about an F5 twister, the whole crew gets dead serious. Like the F5 is 10 times worse than the F4 they were literally just laughing about. I don't know, I thought this part was kind of cheesy, but at the same time pretty amusing. The part that bothered me the most about the film is in the very beginning, where a family is trying to take shelter from an oncoming tornado. Let's just say the fate of one of the family members seemed extremely avoidable. Like, the setup could have been done better, but the effects were still decent. Speaking of effects, the effect that this film had on Hollywood Nick, giving him the idea to throw his movies into a tornado, is probably the worst thing to ever come from this film. Overall, Twister is a very entertaining watch. It's basically just about a bunch of people who like to chase tornadoes. This movie has an opposing research group that are the bad guys, a will they won't they between Bill and Joe, with blatant disregard for Bill's fiancée, of course, and lots of twisters. Seriously, this movie makes me never want to visit Oklahoma, because apparently they have F5 tornadoes like every day. There are some really intense storm scenes in the film, including plenty of buildings being demolished, a drive-in screen being leveled, and of course, the famous flying cow. As a kid, I remember everyone talking about that cow being in the trailer. Like, that has to be the first scene to come to people's minds when they think about this film. Apparently that scene wasn't as far-fetched as I originally thought. Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt are both great as their respective characters. The action's strong, the drama's simple, but enough to get you hooked. And, I mean, there's really not a whole lot else to say. Sorry, it's really hard to think of more things to say with the storm going on outside. It's a simple movie with a simple premise that simply leads to a great watch. The sound that the twister makes was actually created by slowing down the sound of a camel's moan. 8 blocks of houses in Waukeeta, Oklahoma were purchased, then demolished when making the film, in order to create a realistic scene of the damage done by a twister. Twister was the first movie to ever be released on DVD, as well as one of the last movies to be released on the short-lived HD DVD. The original cut of the film included a scene where Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, Dustin, accidentally exposes himself. This scene was removed from the home video release of the film. The actual town of Waukeeta, Oklahoma created a museum to pay tribute to this movie, and it includes memorabilia from the movie and props such as one of the Dorothy devices. Okay, it is really picking up out there, so I need to wrap this up quick. Stop on by Hollywood Nick's Videorama and pick up a copy of Twister today. You won't regret it. Oh, okay, maybe don't stop by today, but in the near future. If there's a Videorama left, that is. Okay, like and subscribe to Super Meteor World, check out the cable station, and wish me luck. Until next time.